What's up guys, Houndish here, and today we got some surprise new content as part of Destiny 2 Season of Dawn, and this comes in the form of the arrival of Saint 14 into the tower. So, of course, initially from a story perspective, that's pretty cool, and we were wondering exactly when he would return to the tower. And so if you're all up to date on your quests for Season of Dawn, you can go visit him. We're going to round up some quests that he has to kind of upgrade his inventory and unlock a new obelisk in the tower. We'll speak about how you can pick up all of those quests at once and work on them at the same time, but also speak about the new obelisk, some of the stuff that it enables us to do. We'll look at weapon rolls for the perfect paradox, and there's also some pretty cool cutscene content, as well as a short Vidoc from Bungie about developing the character for Saint 14. So guys, we've got plenty to talk about in the video. If you enjoy this one, a rating below really helps me out. But otherwise, let's get straight into it. And so first up, you should have a milestone notifying you that Saint 14 is back in the tower. I'm not sure if you have to be completely up to date with Corridors of Time missions, the other quests that Osiris has had. And so if Saint 14 isn't accessible or something like that, then completing any of the existing or current Season of Dawn content from before Saint 14 arrived is probably going to be your best bet in order to access that stuff. Otherwise though, you will be able to go and visit Saint. It has a pretty cool cutscene, which if you want to check out, I'll play that at the end of the video. But otherwise, he's going to have 3 quests, and one of them will actually enable Saint 14 to offer daily bounties, and these are going to be really useful for getting more of the Fractaline currency as well as XP. Another one of the quests will unlock a tribute, which I believe is going to count towards some of the future content that we get later on in this season. But the third quest is actually to get that tower obelisk unlocked, so it's worth picking them all up because you can farm them all out together very easily. And so initially, if you grab all 3 of the quests, you'll notice that one of them requires you to complete Vanguard, Crucible, or Gambit bounties, and you'll need 8 of these. So if you're looking for the really fast way to get it done, I would go with the Vanguard. And so go pick up all of Zavala's daily bounties, as well as some of the additional bounties that you can get, as they're going to come in handy for the Guardian's Duty quest. We also have the Colonies quest though, and the first step for this requires us to kill enemies on Titan, and we need 100 enemy kills. So you'll also notice that the Cornerstone quest, the third quest, does have an objective to collect crucial components from Fallen kills. And basically that is when you kill Fallen yellow bar enemies. And so if you've got all 3 of these quests at the same time, you can go to Titan, jump into one of the Fallen public events. Obviously, that's going to help you get the kills on Titan. It's also going to help you get the Fallen materials that you need. And so run a couple of Fallen public events. You also may need to finish up your kills in something like Lost Sectors on Titan. But once you have that first step of the Colonies quest done, it will instruct you to go to Failsafe on Nessus. And so go ahead and visit Failsafe. Make sure you've got all of the Titan objectives done first. And once you've spoken to Failsafe, you are going to find a further objective to complete 2 public events on Nessus, as well as 1 patrol, and get 100 enemy kills. And so, considering you have the Vanguard bounties you need to get done, and we're still working on picking up those crucial components, so we need Vex and Cabal, Nessus is a really good place to get these done. And so if you can, in a fire team of 3, boot up the inverted Spire Strike from the Director, this is going to be a way to farm it out really easily. Otherwise, you can go to Nessus, obviously in Patrol, to get that section of the quest done, and then into Strike separately to get your bounties done. But if you can load up Inverted Spire, you can firstly get your Nessus kills, you can also travel around and get public events completed. 1 heroic public event will actually count as the 2 public events on the quest, and also on Nessus, for that quest that needs us to get Cabal parts and Vex parts. If you head to the Lost Sector in the Cistern, it's a really good place to get those Cabal components because there are a bunch of yellow bars. But then if you head to Artifact's Edge and the Lost Sector there, you'll find a bunch of Vex enemies where you can get the Vex parts. And so those are the quickest places to go to actually get all of these kills. Obviously, if you can do it inside of the Strike playlist, but actually be roaming around on Nessus, then while you're doing it, pay attention to your Vanguard bounties because you'll be able to get those cleared at the same time. Once you need to get patrol missions done, of course you can't actually activate patrols while you're in a strike, so you will need to go to the patrol zone itself to finish that. Obviously keep track of all of your objectives, but eventually the colony quest will also ask you to head to the European Dead Zone, where once again you need 100 enemy kills, the public event completed, which if you do heroic, will count as the 2 public events, and you also need that 1 patrol mission completed. This is pretty much what we did. We farmed it out in literally about an hour's time, and once you're done with all of the quests, you can go back to Saint 14, and initially, he will let you place the colony item as a tribute next to him. Obviously there's a bit of lore stuff associated with that, but in terms of gameplay and rewards, you will have completed the steps required to add a new obelisk in the tower, and so now you'll actually go and have to kind of charge the obelisk and then interact with it for the first time. But also you'll be able to place the bounty book next to Saint 14, which is going to unlock his vendor bounties. And so that is the kind of bulk of the quest and getting it done really quickly. I hope those tips help you guys out. Saint 14's bounties are going to be really useful because you get 50 of the Fractaline currency dropped every time you complete one. He does have 4 of them, and he doesn't have repeatable bounties, but they are daily bounties, so 4 times a day you'll be able to complete those for Fractaline, as well as for the XP, which is going to be really good if you combine that with the Dawning Bounties, the Gunsmith, Eris's Bounties from the Moon for a kind of major XP farm. But of course, separate to that, we have the Tower Obelisk. This enables us to do some really interesting things. Firstly, we're going to be able to upgrade it, and by the looks of it, it'll be adding new time lost weapon bounties, and so you'll be able to actually pick all of the bounties you need up from this Tower Obelisk at some point in the future once we've done the upgrades. And to do that, we need to reset the obelisks on different destinations by completing bounties for that destination. So that's kind of the upgrade process for some of the stuff that we'll get in the future from this obelisk. But on top of this, currently, we have some consumables. So Time Lost Friends, which increases progression of Time Lost weapon bounties by 10% for 4 hours. That'll be a helpful consumable. And there's also Fractaline Skimmer, and this drastically increases the chance to earn the currency from playlist activities, so that's going to be useful. Also, when you initially unlock this obelisk, we've got a Perfect Paradox weapon bounty, and so random rolls on that weapon are finally here, but you'll also see it offers bounties where you can farm for random rolls of the 2 Season Pass weapons, so that includes the rocket launcher and the sniper rifle. In terms of the random rolls on Perfect Paradox, for traits at least, according to the database, you can get Demolitionist, Slide Shot, Field Prep, Underdog, Firmly Planted, or Threat Detector in the first slot, but the second slot is able to get Swashbuckler, 1-2 Punch, which is always really nice. It can also get Trench Barrel, Opening Shot, Rampage, and Eye of the Storm. So a Trench Barrel or 1-2 Punch, or Swashbuckler, but also Demolitionist Shotgun. It could be pretty good stuff. And so definitely start looking out for some pretty tasty rolls on that weapon there. Really, for now, guys, that sums up everything that we need to talk about in this initial kind of content drop that we weren't expecting. If you want to continue to upgrade that obelisk in the tower, definitely pay attention to the requirements on those sundial links listed at the top. It does look like this obelisk is going to kind of feature into some of the future exotic quest stuff and events and roadmap content later on in January in Season of Dawn, so it's definitely worth getting up to date with it over the next couple of weeks. But on top of this, we do have a mini Vidoc from Bungie, where they talk about developing the character of Saint 14. There's also a cutscene from when Saint first arrives at the tower, and so I'm going to run both of these right here if you want to check them out. But otherwise, I hope this general overview of the new content has been useful, guys. If it has, a rating below is very much appreciated. If you're new to the channel, be sure to get subscribed so I can keep you up to date with everything related to Destiny 2. But otherwise, whatever you guys get up to, thanks a lot for tuning in, and I hope you have an awesome day.
My name is Saint 14.
I think it's how little we've said about him, actually, that has captured people's imaginations.
They call me the greatest titan who ever lived.
Our heroes have idolized him, and so I think that's painted a very aspirational picture for other titans and for a lot of other guardians, actually, to reach for.
They're actually going to stand shoulder to shoulder with a legendary titan, and they're going to be there, guns in hand, and you're actually going to help them.
You're setting a hero on a path, and then you get to see all of the results that come from that path.
The energy he exudes is very infectious. He's one of the most bombastic characters I think we have.
His favorite move is to use his own skull to smash yours, so
Yeah.
I think that it says a lot.
Once they rescue Saint, they have the opportunity to get a Saint 14 finisher where they can stick on his helmet and he gets to headbutt people to death. And that's awesome. Like, I'm really excited about that to the point where it'll be like the first thing I do. But that's just me.
I'm excited for the same thing.
Since the day I met you, I swore I would make it my duty to follow your example. I'm still trying.
A guardian needs to be someone who helps humanity, and I think Season of Dawn is going to be one of maybe our best example this far of really letting you feel like you're helping, and you're doing more than just fight back a threat. You're helping to make the world a better place. And headbutts.
Yeah, and headbutts.
Look at this place. I cannot believe what this city has become. To be home again. To hear of the Red War and see the scars. So much has changed. I was not here when the city needed me most. But regret does not serve us. We must look to the future. We must find hope again. There is no more time to waste. On my journey here, I wondered how the city could best use me. Now I think I know. Together, we will shine brighter. We will build a beacon to call all who are lost home. You will fight, and I will build. But for now, my skull needs rest.